right, people, it's a very, very wonderful weekend yet again. Time to take you on the trip around the world of esports, gaming, and the games. And yes, Christmas is definitely in the air, depending on where you are. But if you're in Lagos, Nigeria, the Amathan is out. And it's a beautiful time to definitely be alive and, you know, getting ready for the end of the year and so many beautiful things that would happen around that time. Welcome to the show, the Afrogamer show, right here on Afro Sports TV. And it's exciting to note that we're eating, and I think we'll do 20 episodes before we go on break for this first season. And I'm excited about that because this is the 17th episode, and that's what they say about, you know, little drops of water making a mighty ocean. This started just as some conversation, and here we are today, 17 episodes already, exciting episodes that you definitely can binge watch on the Afro Sports TV YouTube channel and also on the Afrogamer YouTube channel. Anyway, you can just enjoy it, and of course you can always join us right here at about this time and the other run of times for the each episode every week. Welcome to the show. I'm excited, as you can see, and I'm sure you would be also by the time you get to enjoy all that we've got to serve you on today's edition. This is your regular weekend starter. Let's take a very quick break. When we get back, it will be time for the news, and you know who would be joining me is the man about the African town himself, Ife, the managing editor of the Afrogamer website. Don't go away, people. Stick around. All right, welcome back. It's still the Afrogamer show. My name is Shayo. I'm not sure I said that earlier on, but then it is great to be here once again to take you on this beautiful journey around the world of esports, gaming, and the games. And I've got Ife joining me right here. We usually dissect the news together. It's always fun bringing perspective into the news, making the rounds from around the world of sports, starting with Africa and of course going on the international scene. Ife, how are you doing? Is Christmas in the air where you are, and how are you preparing for it?
Hello, Shayo. It's wonderful to be back again. Yes, it's the last week before we get into the festive periods.
Yep.
So much happening, so much unfolding, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to, you know, Christmas.
Definitely, we're all looking forward to it. But then one thing the people who are watching are looking forward to is what is in the news. So let's get into that one right now. And we start with the Kongo Esports Championships or Champions. That's a Tekken competition for the ladies, and we've got a winner for that one. Let's talk about the winner and, of course, the entirety of that tournament and its impact on the esports ecosystem in Africa, especially as it concerns ladies or women, as we like to say.
Yes, Shayo, the Congo Esports Champions. I don't know why it's called Champions and not Championship, but oh well to the organizers. This is the second edition this year. The first one took place in Kenya. It was called Swahili Esports Champion. So I think they coined a name from the city or the country or the part of Africa that it's in. Yeah, so the first one was Swahili Esports Champions, and now this time they did it in Democratic Republic of Congo. And they specialize in Tekken for our wonderful African queens, the females. So surprisingly, and I would say, we do have a two-time champion. So the lady who won in the Swahili Esports Challenge, Kimi from Madagascar, she did end up winning the Congo Esports Champions. The Swahili one, she did beat household name Queen Arrow, but this time Queen Arrow was not in the Congo Esports Champions, so she went undefeated also. She played players from Kenya, from Benin Republic, from Cameroon, from Senegal, and she emerged winner. So she has done a double, and she's the winner of the 2,500 prize pool. And then she'll be looking forward to make it, yes, dollars.
US dollars? Okay, cool.
Yes, US dollars, and she'll be looking forward to making it a treble this weekend, as she'll be going up for the Manzi Esports Champions, which will be in South Africa. So, yes, Mzansi, I'm sorry, in South Africa. Well, this time Queen Arrow will be there, so I'm sure she'll be trying to have a revenge. So let's see if she'll be able to make that travel.
Okay, congratulations to Kim. Definitely, we can't begrudge her. She's throttle, and definitely she's pushing the boundaries. But my girl is still Queen Arrow, so I'm rooting for my girl, Queen Arrow. I think I would even send her a message after this to wish her the very best this weekend when she goes into that Mzansi Championship. And I was thinking, if Kenya is Swahili, their Congo is Congo, what are we going to call Nigeria when it comes? Food for thought. Food for thought, really. Maybe the Nigeria or the Nawisabi Esports Championship.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move away from that and talk about the South Africans. Dominant in Call of Duty Mobile. Few years back, this definitely would have been us. And you definitely understand what I mean. If the lot we did in this space with this community, but it seems that Nigeria has fallen off that pace, and it seems it's in PUBG we have that sort of slight dominance now. But what's happening with the Call of Duty Mobile space? Because we have a champion for the Carry First Cup, and it is not a Nigerian team, not even in the finals.
Yes, well, this didn't come as a surprise. Like you mentioned, we have fallen off with Team Incognito, moving on from this scene, moving on with life. This one, Carry First Cup, this has been running for months. Sadly, there was not so much buzz. We heard about the announcement in May at the Gamer X3, and they just, they did the qualifiers, and they now did the finals this past weekend in Kenya. So the winner was Noxious NXGEN, which is a South African team. They ended up beating one of the hosts, Delta Esports, 3-1. Nigeria did make it to the semi-finals, but they fell short against Noxious NXGEN. There were a few issues with the tournament. I noticed that there were complaints of conscious efforts by Carry First to make Delta Esports win, which are the hosts. So there were a little bit of complaints.
That's
there were a little bit of
considering Carry First is South Africa based.
Yes, obviously gamers would always want to push one agenda based on feelings, because I think they cancelled a game set. And they asked them to replay, and obviously the team who won that game set was bitter about it. But I know Carry First had come out to release a video as to what happened. So hopefully that is enough for the gamers. But so kudos to the teams. There were 2 Kenyan teams, 1 Morocco, 1 Nigeria, 1 Ghana, and 1 South Africa. So kudos to them, and let's see what next for Carry First, and hopefully they bring back the cup.
All right, we'll see. We'll definitely see what's next. This was a $15,000 prize pool tournament, the Carry First Cup, played on the COD mobile title, and we hope for more, and we hope for better organization and a wider spread in terms of the organization. Let's leave that and talk about Mettlestate, and this is staying in South Africa. Mettlestate are set to partner with ASEM to launch something interesting for universities. Let's talk about that.
Yes, so Mettlestate, which are one of the biggest stakeholders in South Africa, will be partnering with ASM to launch Varsity Esports. So the goal is to have 20 universities across 2 or 3 titles. Everyone plays qualifiers first, and then they play against themselves for a playoff spot for, I think, 8 universities. So it's that 8 universities that will actually just continue playing until there's a winner, which is supposed to kick off next year. But they'll be making that announcement at the Rage Expo. So, Shayo, I know that the Rage Expo has come up so many times in previous weeks. It looks as if so many events are tied to that Rage.
There's a lot happening there.
Tied to Rage Expo. But once again, go ahead.
Why didn't you send me there, by the way? Why didn't you take
The
me there, by
question
the
is,
way?
where will you
I'm
fit in?
wondering.
Because there's so many events going on. Speaking to
Side
speaking
events,
to
yeah.
stakeholders, they feel, why you announcing it when you're not ready to start, because all they are doing is just making that announcement.
Okay.
But I'm of the opinion, with the household name, to be able to get that brand partnership and sponsorship, you need to start putting that word out. So I don't have any issues with
Yeah,
that.
of course. That's an
The
inspiration.
question
That's an
now is,
inspiration.
hope they've been able to learn from it and how to get it right, because one of their
Yeah.
competitors, ACGL,
Mm-hmm.
also mentioned the African University League, and
Yeah.
nothing materialized.
Nothing came out of
So,
it. Okay.
there's that concern of hope is, so that hope is not lip service, that they really go forward with it and they execute it.
All right, let's leave that and hope that they get it right. It's very important, if not for anything, because of the next generation, and we only would keep tabs on them and see where this announcement leads in terms of full execution. All right, let's leave that and go to Kenya. A partnership has been signed between the Kenya Esports Federation, or Esports Federation of Kenya, as it is, and AOC Gaming. This is good for the ecosystem, and it definitely has a lot of potential. Would you like to shed more light on that, Ife?
Yes. Yes, so for those who don't know, AOC by Agon is a screen provider. So your gaming screens, your computer screens. So they've been able to partner up with the Kenya Esports Federation. If you remember a few episodes ago, Mount Kent signed a partnership with the Kenya Esports Federation to have a training center, a sports training center. So that will be
Yeah.
where all those partnerships will take place. The goal is to, build up those talents in Kenya, and
Okay.
also they are looking ahead to next year to build up those talents and prepare them for the Olympic Esports Games. If those
Mm-hmm.
titles, merge with what the Kenya Esports Federation does, I think it's a welcome development. So the center name has changed to what it was called, Mount Kent Training Center, to AOC by Agon. So this brand isn't joking. Like, they
Okay.
want the full-fledged this thing. So let's see. And I hope this would spread across Africa. I know they did a partnership in Ghana
In
with the
Ghana.
Esports Association of Ghana, but it was not this elaborate. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping it shows a seed across different countries in the region.
Definitely, we're expecting more from AOC, and kudos to them, congratulations to them, and definitely we're also congratulating our good friend Ronnie Lusigi, the president of the Esports Kenya Federation, for knocking this in. All right, let's move from Africa now and beyond Africa. Two stories making the round: Esports World Cup 2025. 2024 was big with 20 titles, but 2025 is set to have 25 titles, and we are already 5 titles in. Ife, what are these titles, and where do we go from here, as the question goes, especially from the African perspective?
Well, it's nice to see that they're expanding, which is showing growth from 20
Yeah.
to 25, like you did mention. And I'll just go over the titles. So the first one was the Call of Duty Warzone.
Okay.
Then the second one was the Honor of Kings, which, broke the internet for the esports, because while we were concluding the global Honor of Kings in China, they used that to make the announcement that it was going to be the title.
Yeah.
And then we do have Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So Black Ops is the new Call of Duty that has come out, and Activision is pushing it hard. So
Yeah.
it just made sense to
And now
bring
they
it
have a
to the esports title.
solid platform to
Ex-
promote it.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the last one, which is the fifth one for now, is Free Fire, which is a mobile game, which is like PUBG and the Call of Duty mobile.
And I
So
think we have a
those five
chance
have
with
been
Free Fire,
announced, and
or
I
is it
think
just me?
um
Africa stands a
yes.
chance with
So
Free Fire.
now the
Maybe not.
question beckons
We don't have a professional
the
team yet.
yeah. So yeah. So the question and the worry now is, which of all these titles would allow Africans to play?
Participate.
Free Fire on the professional seen, do we have any professional African team that takes place in Free Fire? I doubt. But I don't know how the Esports World Cup Foundation is going to run it this year. As much as they call it the Esports World Cup, it is actually an Esports Club World Cup.
So maybe it will be the Esports
So
Champions
they may
League
think, exactly. So they might want to consider editing that name. But let's see as they unfold titles. Hopefully, we know Tekken, at least Africans participating in that one. Hopefully there are more titles that allow Africans to take part.
Okay, we'll definitely go on full-scale advocacy for more African participation, especially for the 2025 edition. I haven't seen how it panned out for the 2024 edition. Lastly, on the news, and it's down to Zurich, where FIFA has announced that the FIFAe Finals will be taking place in, guess, yes, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Everything is going there. And now FIFA with this one also going there, and it would be on the Rocket League and eFootball. I thought they had dropped this Rocket League idea, but it seems FIFA is going on with it.
Yes. It's nice to know that they've finally chosen a destination. FIFA seem to have their stuff in place or in order. Riyadh, once again, Saudis are cornering everything esports. They are not even giving breathing space for even China or anywhere else.
No crumbs on the table.
Exactly. So I think during the whole process of the divorce, where they were trying to show that they could move on, they started off with Rocket League, because once again, as much as it's a game of cars, there is a ball that needs to be scored. So which is which is a concept. So I think because they've noticed that there's a community for it, a strong community, they just decided to keep on with it, especially after they signed that deal with Konami for eFootball. They just said, okay, we've started off with it, we've gained the interest. It's not, I believe what we're thinking is it's not a good look for us to just drop it, which makes a lot of sense. You can next year you can say we're not moving forward with it, but if you started off with it, it's not going to look good to just drop it because you now have eFootball, which is nice. So once again, it starts this weekend, it starts this weekend, and it goes up until next weekend. So once again, we'll be rooting for Team Morocco, who will be flying the flags for Africa. Hopefully they do well, and they give a good account of themselves, which they did not do at the World Esports Championship in Riyadh. So they have a redemption at the shot going back to Saudi. So all the best to them.
Okay. All right, all the best to Morocco participating in the FIFAe, which will be happening in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. All right, I'll keep Ife around for the spotlight session, but for now, let's take a quick break with our retro. And what's the retro for this edition? It is the Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 2. Did you play it? Did you not play it? As usual, we always like to bring back those lovely memories with our retro segment. Let's go for that. We'll be right back for the spotlight. All right, welcome back. That was the retro segment right here on the Afrogamer show, reaching you on Afro Sports TV, and we're excited with this edition, last one for the month of November, and we're getting ready for the Yuletide season, the Christmas, the New Year, and all the festivities and fun that is laced in that. And it, leads us into an exciting 2025. I got some interesting news just a few minutes earlier, and it's the one that's got me excited about the potentials of what's to happen in 2025. I've still got Ife around. Ife, let's go on this spotlight. And I also like this spotlight because it is what you are meant to get me for Christmas. So it's why I kept you around. So that right here on air, live to millions of viewers, you would confirm our discussion off air. That this is my Christmas gift from you. And on the spotlight, we're talking about the Atari. The funny thing about the Atari is I never got to play it. I've seen it a few times, but never really experienced it. So when I saw this particular, innovation that they've come up with, it's definitely something that will get people in my generation and younger excited about engaging this affair. And it's a beautiful idea from the guys who made the Atari.
Oh yes, it's wonderful. I was excited. Immediately I saw that, I sent that to you because I was out of excitement. It's just,
yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's just it brings back memories. I had the opportunity to play the game. That was even my first interaction with a video gaming. So it does.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
It just brings that nostalgia, and they're selling their 50th anniversary. Now the world has turned to digital age where you have the HDMI, so it's coming with the HDMI instead of the pin
and the
cord.
Type-C USB. So
exactly, and they've upgraded with the controls to make it cool for the new generation, the millennials that Exactly, and it just begs the question that what's going on with all these games, consoles, they are remastering all of them. So
but I had something about Nintendo 64 also.
Yes,
I think we should showcase that sometime.
Yeah, that is also coming out. The old PS1 2 came out. Yeah. The old Super Nintendo came out. So N64 is coming out again in 2025. And this Atari is just fantastic. And, hopefully it doesn't sell out before I add it to cart and check out for your Christmas present. Good.
Everybody can hear that live. Millions of people will bear witness that Ife is getting me that. But if you guys don't understand what we're talking about, this is it. The Atari, 50 years after, has been reinvented, and it definitely is something that everyone wants to have in their kitty. Let's go for that one, as I also allow Ife to go for the weekend, and I'll be right back for more on the show. Thank you so much, Ife, as always.
All right, thank you for having me. Bye.
All right. Let's go for that on our spotlight, the Atari, 50 years after.
This year, Atari is celebrating their 50th anniversary. Sort of a big deal. I was blown away. Check this out. This is a brand new recreation of the Atari 7800. So let's just break it down real quick. It's a recreation of the 1986 Atari release 7800. This thing comes equipped with HDMI out and USB-C power. The beauty of this thing though, it takes all of the original 7800 and 2600 cartridges. Oh, and did I mention the new gamepads are wireless? Atari is releasing brand new sequels to some of their classic games. The Atari 7800 Plus is launching right now, and they are currently running some really great Black Friday deals. For $132, you can get the console, 2 wireless control pads, and a copy of Crystal Quest, which, if you want my opinion, is a great deal for that retro gamer on your Christmas list.
All right, guys, welcome back. And yes, that is the new reinvented Atari to celebrate the 50 years of that game, and I definitely, it's something that blows one away. It definitely gets you thinking about how innovative the guys out there can be, and how we also need to emulate that and be innovative, be able to, tweak things and move things as they move with the trends and the generations. Let's leave that and talk about the fun side of games today, and it's still in line with innovation. The fun side of games today will show you how the PlayStation 5, there are considerations or there are talks about it evolving into cloud gaming, and there's an explanation for it. That is on this side, and that's the fun side of games. We'll show you that. When we get back, it will be time for our Game Over segment, where we'll be wrapping up the show. Stick around, guys. Alright guys, welcome back, and yes, it's the final lap of the show, and it definitely has been an exciting one, from the news to the retro, the spotlight, and the fun side of games, which is what you just saw right now. And if the PlayStation evolves into the cloud gaming entity, then it allows more expression and definitely more involvement out there. But let's go on the show for this weekend, but not without our Game Over. So as always, like I tell you, come close. Let's talk about it. On the new segment, we told you about the partnership between AOC By AGON, the gaming monitors makers, and the Esports Kenya Federation. We saw that elaborate event, which also had in attendance a top official from the Kenyan Ministry of Sport, Youth and Sports Development, and a few other personalities within the sports space and from the AOC By AGON side. It was a beautiful sight. But definitely beyond all the paparazzi and the photo ops was the fact that the AOC were donating monitors that would be used at the Mount Kenya University, which is now being, which the Esports Training Center would now be named after this sponsor. And it got us thinking on the Afrogamer show that this is a beautiful and a great step towards gaming education, gaming and esports education. And we commend this gesture from the AOC guys. We commend the Esports Kenya Federation for, planting the seed that has evolved into this, because at the time we did that announcement, we were wondering when exactly or where exactly was this going to lead, and now we're beginning to see that seed gain ground, germinate, and bear fruit. The question is, how soon and how long are we going to begin to see this kind of things happen in different countries across Africa? And if we bring it back home, the big question, Nigeria. We've seen Nuga sign deals. We've seen Nuga talk about esports. We've seen a few organizations say that they're running esports education pieces. But how much of impact have we seen with this? And by impact, we're even talking tangible impact and things we can see, like this kind of partnership we're seeing between AOC and the Esports Kenya Federation. That is the Game Over for this episode of the Afrogamer Show, one that has definitely got us thinking, and the need for us to move as fast as we can if we're to boost esports education across the African continent. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an exciting one, and as always, we believe this will set the pace for your weekend, which you would enjoy. And join us on another beautiful edition of the show next week. It's been the Afrogamer Show. My name is Shayo. Enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you next week. Bye for now, guys.